Seeing the conflict that took place a few days ago in the Pan-African Parliament, in which we saw dignitaries from many African countries exchanging blows and words and death threats. I felt ashamed to be called an African. I really felt ashamed of being an African.
Because the problem here is that the Western countries, especially those who speak French, are refusing to accept the principle of rotation. And when they disagree with you, they bully you and do all types of intimidation. They've been misbehaving throughout. And our delegation has been well behaved. And I want me to accept it. The youth of Africa, it finds itself in this position because they've tolerated nonsense for a very long time, especially from the so-called elders who are ruling them in an autocratic manner, in a manner that if you disagree, you get killed, in an undemocratic manner where women and children are being raped in front of the people who are opposing the status quo.
I'll say that the older generations of Africans keep failing us, and that the path to Africa's development and the path to Africa's unity is still a long way to go. The Pan-African Parliament was set up to discuss the issues that are facing this continent. However, what happened a few days ago just showed that Africans have a long, long way to the path of development. If Africa cannot be united, we have a long, long way to go. And that's yesterday, or what happened in a few days ago, just makes us the laughing stock of the world. I'm sure in the Western countries or in China, they must have been looking at this and laughing at the disgraceful event that is taking place inside our Pan-African Parliament, which is such a shock to the whole world. So now the point is that we need to ask the question, who is responsible for this mess? Who created this mess for this continent? So if we cannot put our own act together, who is responsible for this? Is it the white man? Okay, so we can't even put our house together. And yes, so today in this video, I want to discuss 5 things that help us to understand about this blatant lack of unity, this blatant disunity that is taking place even under our noses. Yes, so the first point is the point of division. Division both geopolitically and linguistically. So in the Pan-African Parliament, you can see that the delegates come from different regions in Africa. The West African region, the East African region, and the South African region. And those regions call themselves Caucasus. Okay, so I don't need to explain that into detail, but you can see that all of them come from different regions. So the fight that took place in Parliament was mostly between the West African caucus and the Southern African caucus. Yes, so basically in Africa, we can see that each region or each country in Africa has its own way of defining what it means to be an African. So South Africans have their own connotation of what it means to be an African, and West Africans have their own way of thinking of what it means to be an African, and East Africans have their own ways to deal with that. So of course we can expect divisions geopolitically of what really makes or who really represents the entire continent. So that is not a shock. But the next point of division that we can see is not only geopolitically, but also a linguistic division between the Francophones and the Anglophones. All right, so of course there are other languages in Africa like Spanish and some others, but the main division we could see at that time is between the Anglophones and the Francophones. So If Africa ever wants to be united, we need to fix these differences, especially the geopolitical divide and the linguistic divide. Okay, so the members of the Pan-African Parliament need to sit down. They need to actually sit down and talk about these two ways to bridge these gaps, these divisions. Otherwise, we should kiss development. We should kiss unity goodbye. Yes, so let me show you a short clip to prove this point of the geopolitical and linguistic divide that is very, very prominent within the Pan-African Parliament.
Les élections. Are you aware that you are the source of this? No election.